Hi, my name is Fran Kennedy and I am an Adult Education Officer with Wexford ETB. On the 5th of November 2020, Solas, with the Department of Further and Higher Education, Research, Innovation and Science, announced the Mitigating Against Educational Disadvantage Fund to be administered through Education and Training Boards. The fund is to support educationally disadvantaged learners in accessing and participating in community education. This is done through digital technologies, Learner Assistance Fund, Reach Out and/or mentoring, and COVID-19 exceptional circumstances. Community education provides the opportunity for learning in local community settings. It gives people the chance to gain new knowledge in a non-judgmental, safe, supportive space. For many, it is a new beginning as you grow in confidence, talking to new people and thinking about life and opportunity differently. Wexford ETB's community education facilitators, Anya Whelan in County Waterford, Deborah Butler in Waterford City and Sarah Lavin in County Wexford worked closely with groups to make applications under this fund. Due to our very close working relationships with community education providers and the community and voluntary sector, 40 applications were made. This was achieved in a very tight time frame of 2 weeks. Waterford and Wexford ETB are delighted to say that in excess of 600,000 has been secured for community education provision in County Waterford, Waterford City and County Wexford. We would like to thank Solas and the Department of Further and Higher Education, Research, Innovation and Science for their commitment to the principles and practice of community education in Waterford and Wexford. Anya, Deborah and Sarah look forward to working with the successful applicants, and I have no doubt this funding will make a significant difference to individuals, families and communities.
My name is Eleanor Halley from the Carbley Community Development Project. Our project was founded 5 years ago when our centre was almost derelict, and we founded a committee to rejuvenate the community and upgrade the community centre. We have a sizeable ageing population here in Carbley, as well as high unemployment levels, especially since COVID. We were privileged and delighted to have received the Mitigating Against Educational Disadvantage Fund. Making Carbley Community Centre a place of learning will make things easier for many people in the area. We want to get the elderly people in the community familiarised with smartphones and iPads. This will give them a new lease of life and make them feel less vulnerable and isolated. We can now run courses for those who are socially isolated, vulnerable, unemployed and uneducated in IT skills, thanks to receiving this funding. We hope to run photography classes where people will be shown techniques of taking good photographs and how to print them. They'll be taught about the importance of lighting and how to compose a photograph and all the technical aspects of a digital camera. Photography is a great stress reliever and good for people's overall mental health. All of the activities would make such a huge difference in our rural area. Our sincere thanks to Solas and the Waterford Wexford ETB from all the committee and volunteers here at Carbley for supporting us in 2020, a year that'll never be forgotten.
Hi, my name is Mick Fortune and I'm the lead of the Ashery Progression Programme in Waterford City. The Ashery Progression Programme supports the residents and ex-residents of Ashery Kemela to return to education or employment through the provision of an education programme both in our residential centres in Ballybeg and in our training hub in Waterford City Centre. Ashery Kemela works with men and women in recovery from addiction. Our 6-month residential programme supports residents to gain the valuable skills for independent living in a safe and supportive environment. At Ashery Kemela we value the importance of education as a means of improving the lives of our participants. Due to the COVID-19 restrictions, we've seen a large percentage of external training providers move to distance learning. The grant which we have received will allow us to create an IT space at our premises at 18 The Mall, Waterford. As more and more education moves online, this will ensure that both the residents and former residents of Ashery Kemela have access to a space where they can engage in learning, complete assignments for college, as well as ensuring that our classrooms on site have the necessary equipment for our tutors. This funding will allow us to continue to provide our groups with a space where they can re-engage with education in a positive manner, work towards achieving their goals and build better futures for themselves. For any adult learner, the prospect of returning to education can be daunting. Men and women in recovery from addiction often face further barriers to education, and this funding will ensure that our learners will have both the IT skills and the confidence in themselves to re-engage with education.
Hello, My name is Maeve O'Byrne and I am the Education and Lifelong Learning Coordinator with Wexford Local Development. The essence of our work is about the relationships that we develop with individuals and communities and with other agencies. We are delighted to have been successful in our application for the Mitigating Against Educational Disadvantaged Fund. In the future, 9 out of 10 jobs will require some level of digital skills, but only 48% of our adult population have even a basic level. Digital competence and access to the digital world is no longer a desirable extra. It is a survival skill for life, work and learning. We knew from our experience on the ground pre-COVID that the digital divide was seriously impacting the groups and communities that we work with. There are 3 aspects to this divide. Firstly, there is access to hardware and devices. Secondly, there is access to the internet. And thirdly, many people, in particular marginalised groups that we support, lack the skills, confidence and motivation to use the technology. This funding will enable us to tackle all 3 aspects of the digital divide. It will enable us to set up a digital library to make devices and internet access available to our learners who need it most. This will allow them to participate in the online training that we provide through Wexford Local Development, which has been largely delivered online due to the pandemic. Wexford Local Development works with community groups and with individuals around the county, and specifically with people who are unemployed, with new communities, and with people who are applying for international protection. We work with members of the travelling community, with families and children and young people, with people involved in substance misuse and criminality, and with people with a disability. Learners from all of these groups will benefit from this funding through access to the digital library and the supports around digital skills that will underpin it.